Sorry, straight white men. Doctor Who was never made for you. And that's about the review of the Maestro, Doctor Who's second episode in this season. They're calling it season 1, which kind of is all you need to know by itself. It's its own show. It literally is not Doctor Who. It's a bastardization. It's the Disneyization of everything that came before, and it's not made for you. Or anybody for that matter. Now, I was pretty kind to Space Babies, if you guys watched the review there, given everything that happened with that. But this is another matter entirely. This is literally the worst episode of Doctor Who I've seen. I guess I spoiled the review already, so spoilers. Literally the worst episode of Doctor Who I've ever seen. And the media is eating it up. I mean, they've given it so much attention here. Doctor Who star Jinx Monsoon, like that's a real name. It's as real of a name as this is a real woman. Unpacks Maestro, the series' wackiest, most musical villain yet. This is crazy. So it opens up. Spoilers. Oh God, I don't even want to remember this. It's really this bad. I don't know how I'm going to get through this review because it's like PTSD. It's like I'm having Nam flashbacks. This is my Vietnam right here, right now. My God. All right. Before I get into the review, my name is John Delarose. I am a #1 best-selling science fiction author. That's why I'm here. I've won awards for my fiction here. None of it has any identity politics stuff in it. It's just good old-fashioned space adventure like you used to get from Doctor Who or Babylon 5 or any of the great shows that were prior to current year over the last decade or so. Please check out my books on Amazon. I'm going to have this link in the description below. It's available on audio. It's available on ebook, print, whatever you like it in the UK, because I know I got a lot of UK fans out there. It's all good for you. And thanks so much for coming in so hard over the last couple weeks of on the channel here. Really appreciate it. And don't forget, there's a full trilogy, and it pays off to read the whole trilogy. Now, it starts out with, again, not that, but this. And this thing, it, them, they, what, zer. I'm not joking. Is in a 1920s room where some guy is playing piano. He, she, they shows up, starts eating up all the notes of music in some cringy CGI. And the guy, literally, they do the them pronoun on it, and stop the dialogue to do the them pronoun. Oh, it's so bad. At that point, I knew oh God, we're in for painfulness. And the dude here does, and it's a dude, does this weird flamboyant drag show routine, dance, singing thing. That's all Doctor Who is now, by the way. Ever since the Goblin musical crap, this is what we're getting. We're going to get. It's Russell T Davies. Russell T Davies is a flaming homosexual theater kid who's an overgrown adult now. And so he's going to put all of his theater kid homosexual antics into the Doctor Who show from now on. That's all we're going to get. And it's only for gay theater kids from the 90s. It's so bad. Nobody wants to watch this. It's painful to watch, painful to sit through this. So then Ruby and this the gay black doctor, who reminds you in this episode, incidentally, that he was ripped in half when he fought the toy maker, and that he's only half the Doctor at this point. So he's really not even the Doctor. I think we can consider that because of the bi-generation crap. David Tennant is the Doctor still somewhere out there, and this is not the real Doctor. They do give a little Member Berries flashback to the Hartnell era and mention that he's there in the 1960s with his granddaughter, and she kind of asks how that works, and they kind of go over it, and then they just run around it's really I guess the way this episode feels is not like it's an actual episode of the Doctor being smart and understanding things and using his infinite wisdom as a Time Lord to solve crises and save people. No, he's he runs around scared, and this is the theme of, in the last episode too. And he runs around just this flamboyant homosexual who's scared. He has no presence, no gravitas, no infinite wisdom like he used to have. He's just a raging homosexual running around, and she's basically the I don't know if I could say this, the F hag. I'm gonna be careful on YouTube, but the girls who like are very, very obsessed with homosexuals in theater, in the theater classes in junior colleges. That's her, and so they run around like it's like they're going shopping together or something, and that's what this episode feels like. They are overacting. They're terrible on every level on that level, and they end up in the Beatles studio. Not there yet. There we are. And music's been taken away by the 1960s. Now, there's a lot of weird, like, paradoxy stuff going on again, where, what's interesting is, like, now there's no consistency to it. In the last episode, literally, he stepped on a butterfly, and they did the butterfly effect thing, and she instantly turned into this, like, weird lizardy butterfly creature, Ruby did. And then when he breathed it back to life, she instantly turned back without jumping in the time machine, without going anywhere else. This time, music is gone, but you don't see the impact of it until you jump into the future where it's a post-apocalyptic wasteland from the TARDIS, and then you jump back. So there's no internal consistency in the world building anymore. Russell T Davies has no oversight. There seems to be nobody paying attention to continuity, anything, even within the episodes. It's just a big cluster. The guys playing the Beatles don't really particularly look like the Beatles other than their haircut. They don't really talk like them too much either. I mean, just like bad choice as an actor. I don't know what was going on with this. But music doesn't exist, and nobody can play, and everybody kind of hates it. The Beatles are ready to quit, and this is going to be a big problem. Now, you expect that, like, a Beatles song is going to come out of this, and they're going to, like, maybe they couldn't get the licensing for it. I don't know. They got Disney money behind them, so why couldn't they? Maybe Paul McCartney didn't want, like, his actual anything associated with this, so they couldn't. So no Beatles music actually came out of this episode. They didn't save the Beatles music and help them write their tune or anything like that. Like it just like it's so bad. So this transsexual whatever from Transylvania is the toy maker's like offspring, and is like a godlike being from beyond the universe, and the doctor's scared of it. Well, which I get. I mean, I'd be scared of it too if it crossed paths with me and my children. I'd hide them, hide your kids. But it doesn't know what to do, and eventually like tries to play a sequence of notes in order to banish it. I'm not going to call it her, because that's the gaslight they're trying to do through the whole course of this. And there's a ton of like little gay virtue signals throughout the entire thing. Like Ruby wrote a song for a sad lesbian, and they were talking about how precious that is to write songs for sad lesbians. I'm serious. That was an actual line from the episode. And then all these like weird musical numbers like kind of break out. This thing starts like the whole time, which is painful to listen to. And it's just a cluster. None of it made any sense whatsoever. And then just lots of like the doctor attempting to do music stuff, which there was a scene where him and Ruby were playing the piano in tandem together, playing a song that was like a super hyper complicated piano song. Now, as a musician, you're going to get offended by this. I play classical piano. And so I'm watching them play in tandem just sporadically, with no practice or anything, like playing backwards and all that, like they're like the most talented, like crazy musicians ever, and playing the same song at the same time that they didn't rehearse. So it's like, what? How did this? The suspension of disbelief just goes way away, and just like the suspension of disbelief of this being a woman is not possible either. And oh my god, it's so painful. And so they finally like they just run around like and cry about music for like 40 minutes, and then finally the doctor starts playing a sequence of notes which is going to banish this thing, screws it up because this isn't really the doctor and he really doesn't solve things in this iteration. And John Lennon figures out how to play the correct thing and saves them as like a Deus Ex at the end, and that's it. And then it breaks into like a song and dance musical number where everybody's just dancing and singing. They did a twist song, but it wasn't the Shakin' a Baby Twist and Shout song. It was just a random twist song. Like, I guess they couldn't get the license again. And they started dancing around like theater kid homosexuals for like 5 minutes at the end. And that's it. There's nothing to this other than just like Russell T Davies' like fantasy of what he wanted when he was 20 and didn't get. And virtue signaling for the transgender thing and virtue signaling for lesbians. And that's it. It's so bad. This is literally the worst episode of Doctor Who ever. And it was nonsensical. It was really nonsensical. Painful to watch. If this is where it's going, it's going to be a long road. But it's not for you. It's not for me. Who is it for? I keep asking. Leave a comment down below. Let me know who the hell this is for other than Russell T Davies. Somebody needs to be giving that guy some oversight. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out my books. They do make sense. It's quite the opposite of this. And we'll be back soon.